Okay, and we're back. So last time, what we did was we made the gun pick up, we made the sword pick up, and I told you guys that, in the real game, they're not going to be able to pick up both. We may make that as a cheat code, like just so I can do an episode on how to do cheat codes, but for now, we're going to leave them separate. But in this episode, we need to learn how to swing the sword and, animate ourselves at least firing the gun. We don't have to put the bullets in this episode. But let's put the animations in so we can do both of those actions. So, first thing you want to do is go to mixamo.com and download the animations. Here's the animations that you're going to need to download right here. So, download all of these animations here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to import them into our folder. So once you have them downloaded, go back to your character and go back to our animation folder, and wherever you just downloaded those animations to, make sure you just grab them all. So shift to select them all, and then just drag them in. Before you press import all though, make sure you choose the skeleton, and it has to be the correct one. So we want Scarlet Skeleton, import all. Now, when you're downloading those animations, first of all, you want to make sure that you have the correct character in Mixamo. Second of all, you want to make sure you download them without the skin. So there's going to be an option to ask you with or without the skin. You want without the skin. And then lastly, you want the ones that are moving, make sure you click the little checkbox that says in place on Mixamo. But now you got your animations in here, and that's good. So now we need to figure out what we want to do. So first off, let's do the easy one, swinging the sword, right? We need an attack button. So first thing we need to do is come up to Edit, Project Settings. In our input here, let's make an attack button. So we'll call this one Attack. I'm in caps. Alright. And for the button, I think I want it to be left mouse click. So I'm going to find the mouse, and I'm gonna say left mouse button. And on the controller, I think I want it to be the R1 trigger. So R1. So that would be the right shoulder. So gamepad, right shoulder. Boom. Okay. And that's good. So now we have our attack in there. You can close that. And let's set up that attack in our player character. Let's go back to your character. Your third person actually, and go to blueprints and go to your BP character. Alright, we're going to set up our attack here in this, but before we do, let's actually get this a little bit cleaned up so we know what this is. So put a comment on this, and we're going to call this equip. Okay, and so that way you just know what it is, because we're going to have to come back to that eventually. But underneath equip, or in some blank space, we need to find attack. So, attack. Right click and type in attack, and we're going to use that one. The input action, attack. Alright. Now, before we move on, we need to tweak this equip so that we know exactly what's equipped and what's not. So before we made a variable that we didn't use, and we're actually going to use that variable this time. So we made in a variable called equipped. It's spelled so horrible. But let's take that variable and change it. We're going to say sword equipped. And then we're going to make another one. So you could duplicate that, right click, duplicate that, and call this one gun equipped. Okay. Let's compile, save. So, now, we need to read this equip code. So when they have the sword, and that's true, and A is pressed, then they're going to equip the sword. So, at the end of this, we need to set the sword equipped to true. Cool. And then down here, compile, copy and paste that, and then set it to false. Now on the bottom two, we need to do the gun. So right here, drag off your gun equipped and press set. And again, for the top one, we want it to be true, and copy and paste it, and then for the bottom one we want it to be false. Boom. Alright, so basically now the player character knows what it has equipped because of these variables that we just added in. So that's going to help us on the attack mode. So now we can drag off the attack and do a branch. So hold B and connect your pins. Then we want to say when the sword is equipped. So drag off your sword equip. So if that's true and we press attack, then we want to play a montage, play an animation montage. Alright, so here's how we're going to do this. So compile and save. We don't have any montages to play right now, and we can't even play them. So come to your content drawer, go to your animations folder, so characters, Scarlet, animations, and I'm going to find that slash, the sword and shield slash. I'm sure I have it somewhere. I just downloaded it. Alright, here it goes right here, sword and shield. So right click on that, and then create at the top, create anim montage. And you can leave it the same name, and that's fine. Compile, save. And now what we want to do is go back to her animation blueprint, so anim BP. And look at that, she looks crazy, like an anime character. Anyways, in here what we want to do is go to our state machine, and right here, so from the new state machine to the output pose, we need to put something in between. So drag off here and type in slot. Now that you got that going through the slot, they're able to play those animation montages. So what we can do now is when they press the attack, if they have the sword equipped, then we want her to swing the sword. So off of true, play animation montage, or play anim montage. Now which montage do you want? Come down here and select the one we just made. Now this is the rate, the speed that it's going to play at. We'll leave that alone, but we can say this is when it's finished. So this is how long it's going to take to finish. So you can actually come over here and write delay. So you want it to delay for the entire length of her swinging that sword. And also what we can do is we can freeze her movement, basically. We don't want her to be walking around moving and sliding while she's swinging the sword. So there's two ways we can do that. We can either stop her movement, or we can blend her movement so that she can be walking and swinging. And I think we'll do both, but the first way we'll do it so we freeze her movement when she swings the sword. Okay, so we got this here, play animation montage. Let's disable character movement. So drag off your character movement here on the left hand side, drag it in, and we're going to say disable movement. Right there. And then we're going to delay for as long as that happens, and then we're going to drag off the character movement. And you can't just enable movement, right? So you have to set movement mode. And there we go. Plug that in. Make sure your movement mode is set to walking. And that should get us back to where we need to be with the sword. So if the sword is equipped, and we press the attack button, cool. She should be able to swing the sword, wait, and then move again. Let's double check and make sure everything is right there, and we shall move on. So we got her. She got the sword now on her back. We equipped it. Swing, swing, swing. Yes. All right, that's lit. That's cool. That's really cool. Alright, so now that we got that done, we need to do the same thing with the gun. We need to be able to, for her to do some things with the gun. The gun's going to be a little bit more complicated than the sword, so that's why we started with that one. Alright, but we got it. So, next, we need to make, I would believe we would need to make a here, a blend space. So right click, and we're going to go to animation, and we're going to make a blend space right here. And it's going to be Scarlet. We're going to call this her gun Scarlet underscore BS. So we know that's her regular blend space, and this is going to be her gun blend space. So again, same thing that we did before, and we can do it again. I'll walk you through. Horizontal axis is direction. Negative 180. And this one should be positive 180. Snap to grid. Bottom one down here, vertical, should be speed. 0 to 600, I believe I had it at last time. Snap to grid. Cool. And now we need to fill out all of these again. But remember, this is for her gun. So when she has the gun, this is what she's going to be doing. So on your right hand side, there's an idle. Rifle aiming idle. That's what we want to put at the bottom on all of them. Don't worry about the picture up top with these big guns. These big swords. That's not going to affect our gameplay at all. Alright, so we got run. We need to take rifle run and put this one at the top where run is, right? Let's see. Rifle walk. We need the rifle walk. So, walk with rifle. There we go. Right here. And then there's one more, is a backwards, running backwards. We could put running backwards up at the top. That's fine. And then there's got to be like a walk with rifle. A walking backwards with rifle. I thought we got that one. Here, backwards walk with rifle. Bam. And put those on the corners over here. Now we need to fill out 1, 2, 3, 4. So that could be your left and right strafe. So left strafe running over here. Left strafe walking on this side. And then right strafe running over here. And right strafe walking on this side. Save. So that's your gun blend space. I know that's going to take a minute. So now, go back to your content drawer. And now let's click on our animation blueprint. So, Scarlet Anim BP. And we need to implement that blend space. So, click on your state machine. And we see that her idle, and then her walk and run and jump. We need, from the walk and run, to get to the gun blend space. So let's add a state, and we're going to call it gun walk, gun talk, gun walk. Now in here, when you double click on it, put in your blend space that you just made. So we're going to gun Scarlet blend space, connect it up, and then you don't have to promote these variables. All you got to do is drag off the direction that you've already made and drag off the speed that you already made, and that's set up correctly. The reason why you have an error is because we have to fill out the conditions. So go back to your state machine, right? And now, when from walk and run to gun walk, we need a variable to say that this is true. So when the gun is equipped, so down here we need to make gun equipped. So make a variable and type gun equipped. Alright, compile and save. Now, so from walk to run, walk to gun walk, we need to set gun equipped to true. Cool. And then going backwards from gun walk to regular, we need to set gun equipped to false. Oops, sorry there. So double click on this one right here, and we're going to drag off gun equipped, get, and then drag it off of it and say not bool. And that's the one we want, not boolean. So when gun equipped is not, then they can go back into the regular. Now we need to fix it so that this gun can go back into go to jump, because you want them to be able to jump. So same thing, from gun walk to jump, you want is in air. or is falling. So connect that up, compile, save, go back to your state machine, and we need from jump to go back to gun walk. So we'll say is falling get, and then we'll do the same thing. Just type in not bool. Okay. Bow. So this way, if we ever switch into our gun equipped, then our character is going to know to transition into this state here. Last thing we have to do is on the event graph, we have to set it up here. So we already have stuff set up on our event graph. We need to add one more thing to it. So grab off your gun equipped, and then we're going to set that. Hook that up. And where are we going to set it to? Drag off your character and then write get gun equipped. Bow. And we'll just connect that up right like that. So this way it'll register that if we ever equip the gun, then we can go into that animation. That should be pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So let's test it out. We haven't made it so that you can fire the gun at all, but let's just test it out to make sure that she switches animations when she does have the gun equipped. So she has the gun on her back. Q. Yep. She switched animations all the way up. Now she's in our gun pose. And if you had the gun lined up correctly, she should be pretty much looking down the thing like, you know, like just like mine. So I think that's going to do it for this video. We got her set up so she can hold the gun. We got it set up so that she can hold the sword. So it goes back on her back, comes in her hand, walks, and she moves. This is lit, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you got everything that you needed to get from it, because that's what we're going to do in this episode. That's pretty much it. The next episode we'll add like bullets and stuff like that. We'll add something that hit with the sword, but other than that, I think that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.